Take us
Oh,
away, Carl.
all right.
Uh,
Well,
I'm
first of
I'm
all,
I'm gonna mute everybody real quick, Carl. You
Yes.
need to unmute yourself.
okay. All right. I'm back. All right. Thank you so much, guys, for having me on again. And Eddie, you nailed it. All right. so, uh, so Dana asked me to do a demo on lining up the grain when you're doing like lidded boxes and things like that. So that's what we're going to do tonight. I'm going to use the threaded rings, and this is just a really easy way to get the grain to line up every single time, especially when you're doing like a threaded lid. So it works perfect. And moving forward, I was doing it a little bit different way. I'll kind of explain that as we go along, but then I will show you how to just make them line up perfect every time. All right, I'm going to switch cameras here real quick, and then we will just kind of go over what we're going to do. All right. So today we're going to use a set of the threaded rings, the bronze threaded rings, to do a lidded box. So we are going to make inserts for those rings though. It really adds a nice touch to it with the contrasting wood. You won't ever glue your rings together again. Sometimes putting the epoxy on, a little bit comes out. You might have a problem gluing them together. This eliminates that. And it's just a nice touch when you turn it over and you have a nice contrasting wood. Um, it just that little bit of detail really makes it pop. So we're going to make a small one today, but it's really this is a set I made up just as a demo or for demos. So you just make this little piece here. You can do it with a tenon or a recess, and then that is what gets glued into the top of your lid. So when you put your piece on there, you can spin it, line the grain up, and let it dry. There's no chance of the them gluing it together. So it's just a quick and easy way to do it. I did on this one for the base, just like this larger one here. I made a bigger piece, and then this gets glued inside of there, so there's no chance of any glue getting inside of these rings anymore. Um, it really it just kind of simplifies everything because as far as hollowing it out, when you're hollowing it out just in this area, it's kind of hard to get back up around the lip there because you have to have a shelf there to set the rings down on. But when it's this big, you're going straight down in it and you can hollow right back up around the edge and then pop that insert in. So if you have any questions throughout the demo, just ask away. Don't hesitate, unmute. I don't have a problem answering
Okay.
questions as we're going. If you have any of them, there's two different sizes of the rings that we have, and this is the larger original size. So on these, they both take a recess in the base and the lid, and then the lower profile ones, the outer one takes a recess and the inside one takes a tenon. So just like this right here, you just put a little bit of glue on the inside on that tenon and slide the ring down on it. And that's what we're going to do today is make that. All right. So let me get this cleaned up here. We'll get a piece on the lathe. And just for time wise, I'm going to this is going to be the base of it. I'm going to recess that down right in here. We're not going to do a uh, inner one like this. We're just going to glue it right to it. But doing it this way too, you don't have to do this one on the bottom. If you don't like the way that looks with a different color wood and you want it all the same, you can do this part this just the same. The only part you would have to do to get the grain to line up would be this little one right there, and we're just going to put that into our lid. And then when it goes into the inside of the lid, just a little bit of glue right there, put it in, and it locks it down. All right, so let me get this stuff out of the way. We're going to need that ring and that. I'll be right back and pop on every once in a while and say hi so I know somebody's still
Will
there
do.
because
Will do.
I'm just out here talking to myself. Yeah.
Hey, Carl, this is Scott down in Visalia. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How's it going?
I'm doing okay. Haven't seen you in a while.
It has been a while.
Yeah.
We haven't been down there in oh, how 4 or 5 years?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. All right. Get this on there. This is going to be the base of it. That lined up. All good.
What size blank you starting with, Carl?
Okay, it is. Let me grab the tape measure. What is it? Oh, this is 3 inches by about 3.5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. All right. We're all. Hang on one sec. Let me move some stuff around. There we go. All right. We'll turn this back a little bit. There we go. All right. So it's going to spindle gouge. It's about 1,000 RPMs. We'll just get it trued up here real quick. And then we'll put a tenon on it, and then we can make the bottom of the box. Then we'll put it in the chuck. All right. So the only thing with the rings is you have to have a little shelf in there for them to sit flat on. So it's a little bit different than just turning a lidded box with a tenon or a recess on the base of it. So, and the reason did this the first time was I screwed up on doing a box. We were doing a video, and I just drilled a hole that was an inch and a half in diameter. So it left me with no shelf in there. So I went back and as we're doing the video, I'm trying to figure out how to fix what I just did. About halfway down with the Forstner bit, I realized that I had screwed up on it. So I came up with that little insert and I thought, well, that works better than what I was doing before. All right, hang on a sec. Get this camera switched over here. There we go. That will work. All right. All right. So the outside of the ring, this little one here is it's an inch and a half. We have inch and a half, 2.5, and 3.5. So we're going to do a small one today. It's inch and a half. We'll grab our calipers. Right there. Bring this right up against it. And apparently my spur center is just about an inch and a half. So it's really close. All right. So we just need to leave a little bit of a shelf there. So we're going to hollow out this part right here. And it doesn't have to be much. It's just enough to catch the edge of it. Back a little bit. Little bit more. All right, that is pretty good. And so when you put these in too, you want to make sure that they're recessed down in there just a little bit so that when you thread the rings together, it doesn't leave a gap there. So when you're looking at it from the side, the metal didn't hit before the lid and the base come together. So just make sure you recess them in there a little bit. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and start shaping the box now that we have that done. Switch back over to the spindle gouge. So, and if you were if you were going to put a recess in the bottom of it, you could come out here wherever you want and make it as big as you want or really thin, just just enough to hold that little ring in there. So, all right, turn the lathe speed up. It's about 2,500. Get right up there. And then you can go back in and recess that in there a little bit more if you need to. All right, we'll just do a little kind of round pot shape. So what you can do too is with that making that little recess right there, you now have that where you put the pin jaws in and use that to finish off the bottom when you're all done turning it.
I use these rings when I make urns. There's some slick rings. They work well.
Yeah,
One
that's
more
what I
time.
use.
So I was just saying that I use your rings when I make when I make urns. They work so well.
Yes, so
Oh,
do I, and they work great.
yeah. Yeah, it's a nice touch. It really, kind of, just makes it finishes it off.
Yeah, it does.
In the Army, we like to call that making it ranger proof.
All right. So that's recessed in there a little bit. It's pretty tight. So another thing too is with the wood movement is I have several urns when I first started doing them. I made them for like display pieces to take with us to the shows, and I just pressed them down in there, and I can't get them out. There's no epoxy on them. They're popped in there, and it just that little bit of movement was enough to lock them in there for life. So,
I'll give it a spray with water.
I just epoxy mine in. It has enough
all right.
flexibility to deal with the wood movement.
Yeah, I epoxy them all in now, but when I was first doing it, I was like, well, I want as tight as possible, and it just locked a couple of them right in there for good. All right. So run through all the sandpaper, all your grits, turn the lathe speed down. I won't bore you with too much sanding.
No, it's all good. What kind of sandpaper are you using?
This is Merca, the Abernet.
Okay, Abernathy.
Yeah. Yeah, so it works fantastic. I sand a lot with the mineral or with the walnut oil and just kind of goes right through it and cleans it off. So it it works great. Oop, if I can keep it in my hand. So run through all your grits, get it all sanded up, and
Hey,
then you can,
Carl,
yes,
have you ever tried that 3M Cubitron?
it is it purple?
Mm, yep, I believe so.
Yes, I have some of it. Hang on. Is that it? Yes.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah. So it for doing flat work, I find it works great. And and probably just like this too. Um, it does work really good, but when I put the oil on it, it
Gums
tends
up
to,
on you,
yeah,
yeah.
it gums up and it almost like it peeled this stuff off of it. So
No,
I used it a few times and it worked. I have some of it for doing flat work stuff where it's dry, but once you put that oil on it, it seemed to like separate this from it. And I use the oil on almost everything just because it it eliminates all that dust you see.
yeah.
So that's why I like the Abernet.
So if you're going to sand something that's you're going to dye, would you use the oil then too?
It will dry, but it's going to take a while to dry. So if you want to dye it, I wouldn't put the oil on it.
Okay.
And so if there's something I want to put a glossy finish onto, I don't do it. I don't put that on. Yeah. So even that right there, it got a little bit tight again. All right. Let me clean that up a little teeny bit. All right, there we go. And it's down under. Sue, are you there? Is Sue out there? Or did she
There's
leave?
two Sues. Which one? Safety or me?
Safety.
Safety Sue's here.
See, can you see that? I'm already bleeding.
What did you do? You cut yourself on the edge of that wood.
Brenda!
I grabbed that other sandpaper and my thumbnail caught. Can you see that little spot right there?
I can see it.
It's sliver under
You
my
mean a
thumbnail.
Band-Aid?
I know, right? All right. All right. So we'll go ahead and hollow a little bit of this out. But so that is really it. You just need a shelf for the bottom of 'em for them to sit on, and then you go ahead and run through your whole hollowing out process. At this point, I'll do some of that. This will give my thumb time to coagulate.
Put a little sawdust in it. It'll coagulate pretty quick then.
And super
Artex.
glue. And super glue.
Yeah, yeah.
I do have some super glue. All right. So if you do have like a bigger shoulder here, you can always grab like one of the curved tools or a hollowing system. If you're doing a bigger urn or something, you can grab one of those to get right back up around the edge, or use those by using that insert too, especially if you had a big shoulder. I saw one of the vases. I was watching the show and tell, one of the bigger vases where it came out like this. Having a bigger hole right here would be an easy way to clean that out, and then you just glue in that insert. All right. So I won't run through the whole process, but hollow out your box just like you would, any other little vessel. We'll go ahead and flip it around. I'll show you how I take off the foot and everything. And I don't glue any of the rings in until the very end. We'll switch jaws. And so the pin jaws, I believe they're pretty much the same on all the chucks, but they will fit right in that 1.5 inches. And so they work perfect for cleaning off the foot. You don't need them for making pins.
What kind of chuck is that?
It's a easy wood. And so you want me to show you that? All right. It has a little hole in the to where we at. So all of the jaws have a little hole, and that pops in there and releases them. So all the jaws go in and out the same way. Even the coal jaws have a little hole in them where you can pop them out, and they're not numbered, so they can go in and go back in any slot just like that. All
And
right.
when you buy it, you get all the jaws with it, don't you?
No, you get one set.
Oh, okay.
One set of jaws, yeah.
Okay.
All right. So we have our little spot right there from the live center before. Go ahead and line that right back up in there. A little bit of pressure on it. And we'll open these up. That locks it right back in there. And you can go ahead and turn the bottom off. So I have the lathe speed back up to 2000, and we'll get rid of the bottom here.
And that chuck also has that speed ring on it, so you can open and close the jaws really fast.
Oh yeah, I'll show that in just a second. Yeah, it has a little speed ring on it. Right about there. We just have to get rid of that little point from the live center. Cup that in a little bit. Then once you get off almost all of the material, pull the tailstock away. And then you just have that little spot on the end there to clean up. And that way, it's just kind of held in there with that tenon, but just staying right in the center here, taking little cuts. There's not much pressure on it. Get rid of that little point there. Go. Switch right back to our sandpaper and finish it off. So normally I sand with that oil. So I'm putting the finish on at the same time. So sanding it and finish it all at once. And then when I take it off lathe, it's done, except for screw or gluing the rings in. And the oil is a walnut oil is what I use. I used to use, when I first started doing it years ago, I was using mineral oil. And mineral oil doesn't ever really dry, but I don't know, hated the dust. So I was putting that on. And then I started mixing the mineral oil with paste wax for a while. And then I used uh, Howard's beeswax, which worked really well too. Um, and you can get that at like Home Depot. And then a few years ago, I switched over to the walnut oil because it dries and it does exactly the same thing. And I'll show you here real quick, just to kind of see how I do it. So turn the lathe speed down. It's messy, you don't want, I have a stripe across my ceiling from not turning it down low enough. So a few times. So just turn it down. And
Nobody's looking at the ceiling, Carl.
I know that I don't never point the cameras up there. So, and what
There's a question in chat about how does the oil affect the glue?
So you don't want to get it on the tenon. So don't put it in there. It would probably be fine if you just left it and let it dry. But if you want to glue them in right away, don't do that. Yeah, it wouldn't be good for it. But it does dry, so it just takes a while. So that's what I do. And it just runs through this Abernet. So that's why I like this, especially for wet sanding like this. When it gets a little bit dry, just put a little bit more on. all that dust is just captured right there in the sandpaper. And you saw a second ago when I was dry sanding it, I don't have my dust collector on, but it eliminates a lot of the dust. So yeah, that's how I do it. So in these, if I'm doing this like this whole thing, I would take this, set it over there, move to the next grit, and just run through all the grits. And then when I come around to do the lid, I would just start picking these up again and using it on those. So I'll use it on, a couple little lidded boxes before I throw them away. And I think the walnut oil is going to help seal my thumb.
Carl, for your walnut oil, do you use Doctor's Wood Shop?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It just he lives about 7 miles from me. So I
Oh,
go
nice.
just run over and get it. But yeah, it's a really good one. And it's food safe too. So if you want to use it on a salad bowl or anything, it's he I know it's called Doctor's Woodshop, but he is actually like a doctor, like a science doctor or something. I
Right.
don't know, but it's the walnut oil is like boiled 3 or 4 times. Even if you have a walnut allergy, you can put the stuff on your salad. It does
Wow.
not. The protein in walnuts is what causes the reaction, the allergic reaction for people, and there is no protein left in this. So you can literally you can put this stuff on your salad if you wanted to, just like olive oil or anything else. All right. Let's move on to the lid, and that is the part where we'll get all this to line up. So you have your little base there. We'll wait to glue the rings in, but we'll work on the lid now. So have a little piece here we'll make the lid out of. Switch the jaws again. Oh yeah, uh I heard somebody say something about the zoom ring. So it has a zoom ring on the back side of it. So instead of, you know, cranking to change the size, it just like that, you can open and close them that easy. So it's really nice.
Well, can you snug it up pretty good using that ring?
The zoom ring,
Yeah.
yes, but not enough to turn it. You can tighten it up to hold on to it. I'll do it real quick here. And
That is cool the way that you just slip that stuff in there, huh?
yeah, they just slide right in, and so there's a little cam there, right here inside right there. It's on a spring.
Yeah.
So that little cam right there catches that little spot right there. It goes right in there. So
Yeah.
I've had this chuck for I want to say eight or 9 years. Um, and I've never had one of the jaws come out.
It makes me want to sell
They've
my
never
my, my other
never
ones
popped
and
out.
get that one.
Yeah, so they are kind of expensive, but it's I don't know. I had 3 or 4 chucks before. They all had different sized jaws on them. And then I got this one. I don't know. After about 6 months or so, I put all my other chucks up on eBay and sold them, and I've had this one ever since.
Yeah,
It
I don't like having to take screws out and re-screw them in and put the jaws in, that I like that system. I really do.
Yeah, and I mean, if you don't have a bunch of money already invested in chucks, it's a nice way to go. All right, we are going
Carl
to.
had a Carl, when was that challenge you did with where you did that in a very few seconds, changed the jaws.
Yes, I broke 10 seconds in 10 seconds. Like 9.99.
With that particular chuck, how wide of a jaw can you put on it?
It has, so this is the biggest one. That's the set that came with it. I need to switch those real quick. That's the set that they come with, but then it has these right here. This is the biggest ones they have. Oh,
Was that about 100 millimeter or something like that, maybe?
let's see. Where's the tape measure? So fully closed, it is 3.5 inches. You're right in there, you know,
It's roughly
and
80 millimeters.
opened up. We probably don't want to go too far, but we're about 4.5. Yeah, there's 4.5 right there.
Wow, that's over 100 millimeters.
Yeah, yeah. So
Well,
it's
I guess I'll sell my chucks and buy one of those.
yeah, they really are. And the cold jaws are the same way. They just pop in and
Well,
out like that.
the thing is about this one, you just need one chuck and a bunch of jaws, because it's such a quick change out.
Yeah. Which camera are we on? Yeah, I have a magnet right here on the wall behind me or beside me. And I just have all my jaws right there,
Oh, no,
just like that.
that's cool. That is really cool. I like the way you got your shop organized. That looks good.
Well, you like the way
You got your shop organized.
you like the way this part of the shop is organized.
Yes,
Don't
that
make me
part.
turn this camera around.
Oh, I'm sure it's not that bad.
I was doing a demo a couple of years ago, and they go, "Well, we want to see the rest of your shop." I go, "You don't want to," and they they have me turn the camera around. They go, "All right, all right." I got this like 6x6 square that's what's on camera. The rest of it, there's a pile of wood behind behind me.
Oh, okay.
All right, we're gonna make the little insert out of this. We're gonna do that part first.
Carl, you still got the shop on wheels?
We do, but it's discontinued. We just we can't take off and travel like we were because of Niles. So we can't just shut the website down and leave like we were, but it's still here. We still have the trailer and everything, but maybe someday it would be nice.
Or if you ever want to get rid of that Scout lathe that you got in your trailer, just let me know and I'll take it off your hands.
All right, all right.
If I had the money, I'd buy it and you could ship it 2,500 miles, but I don't have the money.
It was so nice just to be able to get out and, you know, turn anywhere you wanted, go, you know, do demos and stuff. It was a lot of fun. All right, now we're gonna make the smaller one. So we just made the recess for the larger one, the smaller one. This is gonna be a tenon, so we're going on the inside. On that, lay speed.
Hmm.
There we go. And we'll make it a little bit bigger to start out with. Slowly bring it down. And on this part, depending on the box, you can make this big as you want, small as you want. This is a pretty small little box, so this is gonna be pretty small. Get that area cleaned up right here. I think it's still a little bit big. Yeah. So, and to put the rings in, I use 5-minute epoxy to do that. I'm just going to get rid of some of this material right here. We don't need any of that. All right. Get in here. Still a little bit. All right, it's really, really close. I could probably push it on.
Might have to.
Yeah. We'll just,
That was close.
yeah. We'll just sand it a little bit. That should work. There we go. So it's sticking up a little bit. I'm gonna bring it goes down inside of it, but I'm gonna bring it down to where it's flush because it just there's a little bit of a lip there, and I'd rather just have that flush going across there. So on this part too, I use this tenon to finish off the top of it. If I was doing it with the lid, you can use that tenon to finish it off. Just grab it again with the pin jaws and you're good to go. There we go. Now we have that flush. So same thing with this. You run through all your grits, sand it. This is really the only spot on this box that you're going to see is this little button right here. But if you were doing a bigger one, let me grab that other box real quick. Just get that cleaned up. So here's that one I finished. So on this, I sanded all of this and this lip all the way around because I knew you were going to see it. So on this one, we're going to make it pretty small, so you won't really see any of this around the outside of it. So just sand up that little button depending on what you're doing. And then that is going to go right on there, all good. So then we're just going to come in here with the parting tool. We don't need much of it. On the outside of it here. So you need the tenon and you need a little bit back here on, there we go. So you just need a little bit of that to get recessed up inside of it. So here's that little one I made. It's just pretty thin. We basically just made that right there. So you can just part it off and you don't need to sand any more of it. It is all done. So the only thing is when you're parting it off, cup go in at a little bit of an angle, so it's cupped out just a little bit. So when you put them together, it doesn't rock back and forth. It sits nice and flat up inside of there. So yeah, I'm just kind of going in a little bit of an angle. Then I'll clean off that little nub right there. And so this go down just like that and get glued up inside the lid.
Primo.
So, and that little part right there is really, as far as lining the grain up, just a little piece like that. That little insert is going to make lining the grain up just easy. You don't have to do it, it on the base of it if you don't want to. All right. Lid. Let's do a lid. All right. Will that go in there? Oh, it will. Look at that. That's textbook right there, I think.
Planned that, right?
Yeah. I planned that dowel to be perfect. All right. Get this cleaned up. Do. All right. So what we have to do now is grab the calipers again, and we're going to make a recess for that. Right there. Right up against it. That looks good. A little shy. Oh, I guess I need to take that out. So on this too, just make sure it's cupped out just a little bit so that when it goes in there, it sits flat. I think it's a little tight still. Oh, I guess I need to take that off. All right, hang on. I'm going to use a pocket knife off camera, so in case I cut myself again.
That way your safety shoe doesn't get on you.
Yeah, watch out, Carl.
And Brenda.
All right, that's really close. All right. Bring that down. So, and we can use this recess right here too to flip it back around and finish off the top of it. So all these little recesses here. Can you see that? Are we on the right camera? Yeah. So this part right here Don't make this too tight because when we put the lid on, we want to be able to turn it. Don't make it sloppy, but just enough to where you can spin it and line that grain up, just like that. All right, so this is the lid. I'll start shaping it here. Let's go ahead and come around the side. We're just going to make a little lid on this. I might need to go down a little bit more. We'll see. Let's get rid of some of this material. All right. I want to. All right. Test it again here real quick. So it's a little bit proud right there. So I'm gonna go in a little bit further. There we go. All right. Now we can just go ahead and part the lid off and finish off the top of it. All right. Where are we at? There we go. All right. Then we can use that with the pin jaws again to finish it off.
Yes, he is so detailed on explaining what he's doing, Sue.
Somebody have a question? I heard something.
No, you're getting a compliment because everybody's being so quiet watching what you're doing. And so I was just remarking how well you explain what you're doing to make it easy to understand.
Oh, that's good. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, don't want to. It is funny because I never liked school. I never liked teachers, and
Right?
it's kind of where I ended up.
And
And I'm thinking, I don't know.
yeah, and then here we are. There's so many of us that fit that bill.
Yeah,
Demoing and explaining what we do. And
yeah, yeah. It's funny how that works out. All right. Don't don't break it, but tighten it up on there. Then we can clean off the face of this real quick, shape it, do it, and then we'll go through like the whole process of sanding that. I'm in there quite a way.
Is that an easy wood tool you're using right there?
yes, the CI5. It's really good on end grain, Dewey.
Okay. I was noticing it comes off, shades off pretty good. I mean,
Yeah.
looks like no dust, really.
Dropped a piece of sandpaper somewhere. Oh. All right, and this same thing with this, what I normally do if you want to start sanding with oil and aren't sure about it, I usually run through a couple of grits dry. So I run through usually 2 grits dry, just to make sure that there's no torn grain left, no little defects or anything in it. Because once you start putting that oil on, you can't go back. And it's much easier to power sand if, say you're doing a bowl or something and had some torn in grain on it. It's much easier to get it out when it's dry. And you can power sand it or whatever you want to do. Once you start putting that oil on, it's pretty much done. So I usually run through 2 of them. So we have that. So again, run through all the grits, all the way up to 400, 600, whatever you like. And there is going to be a little insert that's going to go into it. There's a ring that is going to go on it.
Perfect.
All right, let me bring everything over here. And show you the steps on that. All right. So I use 5-minute epoxy. That is the brand I use. It's Gorilla Glue. Get it at Home Depot. Um, I I tried a couple different brands of it. This one seems to be the best one. It seems to hold. I use it for other stuff too, and it seems to be the one that holds the best. I don't know if anybody knows of better ones out there that might work a little better. Please let me know. I'm always looking to upgrade to whatever works best. But that one seems to work really well. All right. So with this, now that we have all our pieces done, I glue in this insert right here, glue that into the base, let it set up for 5-10 minutes, glue this on here, let that one set up for 5 or 10 minutes, make sure they're completely dry. And then what we're going to do is take this little piece right here. I'm not going to glue all these together because it's not finished, but I'll try that out in a sec. Then we take this little piece after it's all dry and we thread it right onto the box all the way down to the bottom till the wood hits just like so. Got your wood tapped out on the bottom. You're all good. And then to line the grain up, I put a little bit of wood glue right there. Place this thing right on there like that. And you can turn it. It's spinning not on the threads. It's spinning on the top of this. You can spin it, line your grain up to where it matches perfectly, and let it set overnight. Wood glue usually sets up in about an hour, but I just let it set up overnight and you're done. So every time you unscrew it, it's going to come right back to that spot because the threads are already tapped out. Like this little piece right here, when you screw it together, the threads tap out right there. It can't go any further. It's locked right on there. So anything I glue on the top of it is going to be facing right there every single time. And when you unscrew it, it's always going to come back to that same spot. So it is just a dead sure way to get the grain lined up, especially if it's, like a piece of maple like this where it's running up and across like that. You want that grain to line up. So just glue those together, let them set up, spin it down to where it stops, and then put your lid on. And I just put a couple little drops of the wood glue right on there, put it on there, put it wherever I want, and just let it go.
That's slick.
So, and this one is just, the bottom still looks all, if you like that look where it's all just clean and smooth, or you can do a recess to a bigger recess in it to make it easier to hollow out. But that little piece right there that goes in the lid is all you need. And once that's locked together, it's not coming apart.
Cool.
All right, where are we at? Let me move.
That was awesome.
Thanks, Carl.
Excellent demo.
Oh,
Yes.
Excellent demo.
Thank you
Always
guys.
love your demos. Oh,
Oh,
even when you get hurt, I love your demos.
Right? Only one injury today. It's a good day.